And so you heard what I said, right? Like, or like just now.
I think you're muted. You were muted.
Oh my goodness, these connections are awful right now. So what I said was how the only time we really care about the time aspect are gonna be basically on the last week of the month, the last 2 days out of the week, the last quarter out of the year. That's what's the most important time because that's when people usually fuck up, right? You can see people make a lot of money the first few quarters, the last quarter they blew it all up because the last quarter are the most important. That's when the reversals usually occur. That's when usually people, fuck up the most. So now the way you're gonna trade CRT, since you're new to it, you're gonna basically trade it during the time base, right? You're only gonna like the way I trade CRT is only through time. I don't trade it nothing else but time, right? So for gold, right, the way you can trade CRT, you can just use the lower time frame CRT, right? So in a monthly time, in the 3 month time frame, there is no CRT to be traded, right? But if you go to the quality asset, like not the quality asset, if you go to EURUSD, there's definitely CRT to be traded. But on gold, there in the last this whole year, there was no CRT to be traded to the upside. So what you're gonna do is scale down to the lower time frame to trade it, right? Can you hear me all fine? Just make one more extra sure.
Yes, yes.
All right, so for fucking gold, damn, I'm fucking up so much. All right, so for gold, is since there's no 3 month CRT, you're gonna scale down to the monthly time frame, and then you'll eventually looking for a CRT. If there is no CRT in a monthly time frame, scale down to the weekly, right? In the weekly, now you could find CRT here, right? CRT low got soup. You're gonna go CRT high. Now, since we know that this here is just a bullish here, we could long it up until quarter four, right? Quarter four. Once quarter four comes around, then it could be like, okay, let's protect some profits. There could be signs of potential reversal. Let me show you quarter four reversals here, right? So quarter that would be right here. Quarter four didn't reverse because the trend is obviously bullish here, right? But it did came back down to close off the yearly range. So you could do two things. You could range it off or it could reverse, right? Now, if I go to EURUSD, because that's what I primarily trade, but the concept could be applied to anything, right? Anything that has candles, right? Anything that can, any time, any fucking period that prints candles, the concept works, right? So over here, the quarter four was basically a drop down, right? Eventually, the quarter one out of the year was a manipulation. Quarter two out of the year was expansion. Eventually, quarter three, we could expect another expansion because we know that quarter four is going to reverse, right? This is not a perfect example because this would be, accumulation, manipulation, expansion. You know what that is, right? The AMD model.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's all we're doing here. But we're doing it based on a higher time frame primarily, right? So of the last year, quarter four expanded, then you could use that as a range. Then eventually you can anticipate the first quarter out of this specific year to manipulate, the second quarter of this year to expand, the third quarter of the year to expand again, and the fourth quarter to potentially reverse if the higher time frame is telling us some sort of reversal signs, right? So if you go to the
in that case, Q4 will be Q4 will be continuation, right?
No, it will be reversals or range off, right? You either range or reverse, right? Because as I said before, Thursday and Friday are gonna, fucking range or close off the weekly range or reverse. Like how quarter is, close above and close below and wick above, wick below.
Yes.
That's all we're doing, right? Are we using more sensely, right? Rather than, just saying, yeah, that's a wick above. You already know if it's really a wick above, right? You will see a wick above, but market will still continue to the upside, right? So we're focusing, we're trying to make the wick above and wick below and close above a higher probability, right? So the way we make a higher probability is by using time. Now, the time is not always going to be perfect. So you need to go, you need to be a little bit flexible, right? So saying, let's go, we're gonna go from the higher time to the lower time frame. The way I start my bias is personally from the quarter three, right? Not quarter three, the 3 month time frame, right? So I'll go 3 month time frame. I'm looking for time and open, high, low, close. You know what open, high, low, close is, right?
Yes.
So open, low, high, close. So this candle specifically, we opened, we made the high. Now we made the low already. This last week we made the low. Then eventually we're looking for some sort of a closure pricing, right? Because you have 6 days, right? So now the 6 days left is very important because these 6 days, that are left are gonna determine some sort of a crazy price action. That's why this week you saw, areas they come down back down lower, but go right back up higher, right? It's a clear sign that the market, before you can go down here for a closing price, you need to have a certain price point. You need to basically take out liquidity before doing so, right? Because I think tomorrow we'll push out the Wednesday high, then go down lower, right? Doing that fair price and closing for the month, for the quarter, and also for the week. So the way I get my buys using CRT is through primarily time and open high low close, right? So the way you can do this is go to 3-month time frame, because you don't want to go above 3-month time. 6-month time frame doesn't have the time there, right? Because there's only 2 6-month time frame for a year, so you can't really determine like that, accumulation, manipulation, expansion. That's all we're doing, right? Accumulation, manipulation, expansion. That's all we're trying to predict. So now on a 3-month time frame, all we're doing here is we're trying to do open high low close and accumulation, manipulation, expansion, and the quarter of the year. So since we're in third quarter of the year, you go check my whole bias on my YouTube. I already gave this out. You could check the Telegram also. But this whole quarter, all I was looking for the specific quarter is to open, make the high, and make the low, then close, right? So we opened here. Now, how do I anticipate for the high to be made? What we're gonna do is go down to a lower time frame, to the monthly, right? So the monthly time frame over here, this when the quarter opened. So the monthly time frame, in order for us to make the high out of the quarter, is gonna be on the month 2, right? So month 1 accumulation, month 2 manipulation. When it's manipulation, you're gonna make the high or low of the quarter, and eventually quarter 3, and the month 3 to expand, right? So you see month 1 accumulation, month 2 manipulation, which makes a high of the quarter, the specific open high low close, right? And eventually quarter 3 expands, hits our target, and eventually closes in a fair price, which is I think is gonna go down lower before the fair price closing is important. So every time you come at the end of the month, people are gonna fuck up a lot. Have you fucked up at like the last week of the month? Have you ever had that where your trading got really messed up at the last week of the month? Have that ever happened to you?
I actually never stopped to think about it.
Never stopped to think about it? Okay, so you're gonna, if you're like really into the market, you are going to face it, right? You're gonna know, okay, week 4 is kind of fucking difficult to trade. So usually week 4 reverses here. We could go back in time here. Where's week 4? Right here, week 4 reverse, right? Eventually from there on forward, the market did a huge reversal, right? So it's always going to be like that. You can see week 4 right over here, reversed to the upside, right? And what will be another example? This is week 4 of this month. Now, if you go back in time, that's not a good example. Nope, that's week 4 right there out of that month. Week 4 right over here, you can see how week 4 reversed. It didn't reverse fully, but it closed in a fair price. So basically, went up here, retraced, then went down lower. You can see week 4, right? This is the last week out of the month for May. Now, if you go back in time here again, which is April, this week, you can see again, week 4 reversed again. Although it didn't soup out the week 3 low, because week 3 low already souped out the second week low. Then eventually week 4 could just be expansion. So second week accumulation, third week manipulation, fourth week expansion to the upside, right? So that's all that's happening. Right. I can show you guys more. I can show you more example right over here. Week 4 right here again, reverse to the downside. Although we're supposed to go down to although we're supposed to close up higher, but we closed down lower because third week accumulation, fourth week manipulation. The new week of the month was expansion. You can see new week of the month out of nowhere expanded to the downside. So that's all we're looking for: accumulation, manipulation, expansion. But we're trying to align that with time, and accumulation, manipulation, expansion is basically CRT, right? So that's all we're doing, right? So going back to the higher time frame, all I'm looking for is simple: open high low close. Then I'm looking for the low to be formed. Then I'm looking for what else I'm looking for in a 3-month time frame is the quarter of the year. In this case, I know, okay, market will not go up higher, right? Because on the 12-month time frame, we're supposed to go up to this high right over here. We're supposed to go to the range high, right? You consider the range high over here, range low, range high. We're supposed to go to the range high, but we know, okay, the time is not right for it to do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait until the time is right. So we're gonna go down to the lower time frame, to the 3-month. You're gonna see that the 3-month time frame matters a lot, because although you're gonna trade a 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute time frame, the quarter candle will matter a lot to determine your bias, right? Without the bias, no matter what no matter what you do, is gonna fail inevitably, right? On a longer term basis. So I know the time is now right to reverse on the upside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna short the quarter 3 still. You can see quarter 3 was overall a bearish candle, right? Overall expand to the downside. So once I know that, okay, now I know, okay, the quarter 3 is still gonna go to the downside, although it didn't go perfect to the downside because it was some sort of a hammer candle. That's perfectly fine. All I care about is the lower time frame than it, right? So now after I got the once I got the quarterly candle done, I'm going to the monthly. Then I'm monthly looking for CRT, the key level, whatever I'm looking for. But also I'm looking for time, right? So I know that the quarter 3, right, needs to make the high. The way it needs to make the high, the way we know how will it make the high is by using the monthly time frame CRT. In this case, you can see monthly time frame had a CRT to the upside. Since we know the quarterly candle does need to make the high, we're gonna use the monthly time frame CRT, this monthly time frame CRT to be respected. So what we're gonna do is go in EURUSD and long is fucking EURUSD should be shorted there. Right? We're looking to go to the USD and short it down to the monthly CRT low. Although monthly still has S&T, we're perfectly fine because we're gonna profit out of there before it does that, right? So we know we need to make the high of the quarter before we make the low, right? So we opened, now we need to make the high, then make the low. So in this case, we're looking for the CRT to be respected because we're trying to make the high of the quarter. So we're looking for a specific monthly CRT to be respected. Once it gets respected, once the candle close, then we're anticipating some bearish price action from there on forward. Right? In this case, I was bullish this month because we need to make the high, and we had a monthly CRT to support that thesis, right? So once we had that done, that's perfectly fine. The first month was overall a profitable month. Second month, now since we're focusing on the quarterly fucking open, high, low, close. So now we're going to the monthly time frame. We know the second month out of the quarter will usually make the high or low. The second month of the quarter will usually make high or low of the quarter. So second month is right over here. We know that, okay, it has a really high chance of making the high of the quarter, right? So we're gonna mark out the first quarter of the first month of the quarter as a CRT. Now, second month, we're looking for it to be a manipulation, so a super big go down lower. So what we're gonna do is going to allow the lower time frame. You see how Friday made the high of the month here?
Yes.
So Friday was NFP. When there's NFP on like literally the first day out of the month, it can make the high or low of the month because this can be a big ass candle to the downside. So we know, okay, because this has happened multiple times before in the market. So this right over here is totally respectable. Okay, well, okay, the manipulation already happened. Now we're looking for some sort of a continuation, right? So you can see there's a daily CRT that you could have shorted down. So now before we go here, we need to go back to the higher time frame again, right? So now since we have the higher time frame done, we're looking for obviously to the downside because we're anticipating the quarterly candle to be bearish because the fourth quarter is gonna be the reversal. So we don't really care. Now it's simple now, right? All we gotta know, okay, the fourth quarter is gonna be reversal, but until then, I'm gonna short it down. But the way I know to short it down, if you look up now, I have to go down to the lower time frame to the monthly and look for this monthly CRT to short it down, right? Since we know before the candle can close in a bearish candle, right? You can see a classical CRT candle. Before the candle closes in a bearish candle, it needs to make the high first. So the first month is going to be a reversal against the quarterly candle closure. Then eventually the second month of the quarter is going to make the high of the quarter. Then the third month of the quarter is going to make the low and close, right? The first quarter literally, reversed against the higher different direction of bias, which is perfectly fine because that's what we're looking for. We're looking to make the high first before make down the low. So the second quarter makes the high. The second month of the quarter makes the high, which is beautiful. Now we're looking for the third quarter what am I mistaking the month, right? We're looking for the third month out of the quarter to expand to the downside, right? You understanding this a little bit?
So August was accumulation. Then July was accumulation. August was manipulation, and then this month would be the distribution.
Yep, you can see July was what, a reversal for June, right? Because there's type of CRT. There's a CRT where it can be a manipulation and expansion, but that's perfectly fine. There's no, the market is not always going to offer you like a CRT like this. This right here is a classical CRT, candle. You can see first candle accumulation, second candle manipulation, third candle, expansion. Sometimes going to be like this, right? The first candle is a manipulation. The first candle is accumulation. The second candle is a manipulation and expansion. So if we're looking to make the high of the quarter, we want something like this. We're looking for a reversal against a higher time frame directional bias. So this right here is perfectly fine. You could have long this up to the upside until this CRT high. Then you can look for shorts on the next month, right? So the reason this is so important, because now we're going to the lower time frame, you're gonna have less headaches, right? Now if you go to the lower time frame right over here, let's go just for example, right? There's so many candles, right? Which one, like there's so many candles to trade. So it's very confusing for you to know, okay, should I long this, should I short that? What should I do, right? You wouldn't really know. So that's why you have to go to the higher time frame, and the higher time frame will tell you overall the story of what the market's gonna do. So when you go down to lower time frame, you're less confused where the market's gonna go, right? So we obviously know the first month of the quarter is gonna be accumulation, second month of the quarter is gonna be manipulation, third month of the quarter is gonna be expansion. Since let's say we traded from this point on forward, right? I don't like fucking bar replay. Shut off. So let's say we traded the second month out of the quarter, right? So fourth month accumulated. All we're gonna do is go to the second month of the quarter since we're trading that time. Now, once we have the monthly, we're gonna go down to the weekly, right? Weekly, we're looking for, okay, we open right over here. So the weekly candle opened, right? This specific candle is supposed to be the 14th of the month. It was also the first day out of the new monthly candle, because the NFP was on Friday, and eventually NFP pushed to the downside. So the weekly time frame, we know, okay, week 3 was accumulation right over here. So we can anticipate week 4 out of the quarter, since the week 4 leads into the first day out of the month of the new monthly candle. We can anticipate the week 3 to be accumulation, right? You see how the CRT, right? You see the CRT right over here?
Actually, I would have thought that the previous candle was CRT.
This?
Yeah.
I mean, this one already worked out in your favor, right? Because you were keep in mind, we're bullish that Pacific time, right? So this one is perfectly fine, right? But this one target already got met. So our new CRT is this during as I said, within time, right? Because overall, this big bull CRT, right, was our overall CRT. You can see to the upside, it got met, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that target is met, so that CRT is no longer valid. We're looking for a new range to trade. You can see now if you go to the lower daily time frame, that range is perfectly respected, right? You can see that range got perfectly respected. The way you know, although you can see you got a closure above it, is still respected because in lower time frame, it gave us a CISD. You know what CISD is, right? Like change of state of delivery.
Yes.
So we had that in a 4-hour time frame right over here. So even though it closed above it on the weekly, we don't really give a shit about it because, okay, we already have confirmation on it. Like yesterday, right? You see yesterday, how the daily candle closed below this other daily candle?
Yes.
But it still got respected. What else we got the low? So since they did that,
since the next candle got back, it meant it was respected.
Yeah, see, so you can see the scan right over here, right? The Wednesday candle never purchased out the Tuesday candle high. You see that, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna face this problem sometimes. So since you're new to CRT, although this candle closed above this other candle range, right? You close above it, but it still, regardless, got respected. The way you know, okay, this range is still gonna be respected, you have to go down to even lower time frame to look for the CISD. So if we have a daily CRT here, right? Let me go mark out the daily CRT. Now I'll show you the higher time frame also. A second. Right, if you see the daily CRT, right? So before the candle closed, which is the candle closed all the way over here, before the candle closed, it gave us a Marlboro 1. It's change of state of delivery in the hourly time frame. So even if it goes above it, we're gonna look, okay, unless it takes out this high, this candle is still respected. So I'm still looking for this candle to be, to respect and go down to the downside and hit our drawn liquidity, which is on DXY. So this was this specific key level, which I pointed out on the Telegram like a couple weeks, like a week ago. Pretty sure, I'm not sure, but that's, you see how that happened in daily time frame, right? Now, if you go to the weekly time frame, same thing happened again here, right? Although it closed above it, it relatively still respected it because you gave it a change of state of delivery on the 4-hour time frame. If it was always going to be like, you know, it needs to close inside the range, it's not always going to close inside the range, because if it was like that, everybody would make money, everybody would catch on, right? So
does it have something to do with the SMT?
SMT, you shouldn't use SMT too much. You should primarily use it as a confirmation tool, right? This week there's SMT right over here, right? You see, you like SMT, right? You trade SMT, you told me, right?
I used to trade SMC actually.
Yeah, SMC. Okay, so it's not SMT. Okay, all right. So SMC is basically this, you know, ictconcepts or like something else but shittier, right? SMT is basically like, you know, one candle takes out the high while the other candle doesn't take out the high, right? In this case, if you go to a specific candle, you can see this high right over here, right?
Yes.
This high, it still got taken out. Although, if you go to GBPUSD here, right, GBPUSD, that low, right? You see that low because they're inversed, right? That low got taken out on GBPUSD, but on the on DXY didn't get taken out, right? So there was an SMT, right? But you can see how he failed. You see how he failed, right? He went up still up higher. The reason is because the reason it went up higher still because, you know, GPUZ is like a secondary. You know that is, right? Secondary.
So it's not that correlated?
No, it's correlated, but it's not as important as the EURUSD. You know how dollars are like the world currency of the fucking world, right? So
yeah.
Like, you know how Bitcoin and ETH, how NASDAQ and ES and EURUSD and DXY and gold and silver, right? There's never a third pair. Whenever there is a third pair, like, you know, EURUSD, DXY, and GPUSD, GPUSD would usually be a pair you wouldn't want to analyze too much, because GPUSD, you can see right now, it's kind of shitty, right? GPUSD is kind of difficult to trade here. It's very difficult. So you want to focus on the two main pairs, right? So when you trade SMT, focus on the highest probability of SMT. You can see this SMT overall failed. This same low on here, you can see it inevitably failed because although you had SMT with DXY, since DXY, and then since for GPUSD, since GPUSD is a secondary pair, you will usually fail because it's not the main pair, right? The main pair is EURUSD and DXY, not GPUSD, right? So that thing, I already made a video on it yesterday. You can just go watch that video, right? It's quick little introduction on how SMT works. But you can see how this specific candle closed above it, but it still respected the range, right? So that's all we're looking for, right? So now using time, we have our 3-month already bias here. We're looking for a 3-month open, high, low, close, and we're looking for the quarter of the year. We're in the third quarter of the year, so we're still looking for a expansion of the downside because we know the fourth quarter out of the year is going to be reversal. Since we have that,
you said it was respecting the range. The range you're talking about is the monthly.
Which respect? I'm talking about what do you call it? Yeah, what I meant right here, I was talking about this specific candle right here. You can see how he closed above it, basically like he broke through it, right?
Yeah.
But he still got respected, right? He still went to the
because it went back.
Not really, because when the range gets broken, that means it's usually disrespected, right? Because you know a breakthrough, right? But the way we know this range is still respected relatively is because of the lower time frame CIZ, right? This is like a low, they push out the high, we close below the low, then eventually we know, okay, there's a change of state of delivery, so we can still relatively take a, you know, we can still anticipate this range to be respected, so we're still looking for a short on the weekly time frame, right? That's that simple. So going where we left off, since we have our quarterly bias, we're all inevitably bearish, right? On the monthly time frame, we know the first month has to accumulate / reverse against our bias, because first month accumulation, second month manipulation, third month expansion. Sometimes the first month, you can see this is the first month of the this is the first month out of the quarter, expanded, right? Every candle expanded here, right? Sometimes that will happen. The way you know this will happen, there's a lot to teach you, man. I don't know how the fuck to teach you all of that, but that's why I told you to come with specific, question you're gonna ask, because it's very difficult, right? To see this specific candle on a quarterly time frame. First quarter out of this is the last quarter of the year was accumulation, right? First quarter of this specific year was manipulation. Second quarter of this year was expansion. Third quarter is another expansion. So the fourth quarter is a reversal. But on a monthly time frame, you see the monthly time frame, there was no accumulation, manipulation, expansion. It was just primarily expansion, 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 right? So the way you can anticipate that is by going to the higher time frame, then hit accumulation, manipulation, expansion, right? So as we know, on the 3-month time frame, first candle accumulation, second candle manipulation, third candle expansion, we can anticipate this candles to just expand without waiting. So if you go to this specific time frame, daily time frame, during that time, there wasn't a lot of trade to catch, because if you want to catch the trade here, you would have entered somewhere around here, right? Now you're probably wondering, like, why are you already showing me the daily time frame? As I said before, this is like to make you less confusing in the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame. We do trade like these lower time frame as a CRT, because your goal is to trade the lower time frame and target the higher time frame, right? So if I'm entering like a 4-hour CRT yesterday, for a perfect example, right? We go to the USD. Like if I'm trading this 4-hour CRT to the downside, I don't want to take profit here, right? I want to take profit like down here, right? Because like it's like fractal, right? The same thing that anything that happens in a higher time frame will happen in a lower time frame, right? So how I'll show you right here, like this, right? You can see this one right over here. If I go to DXY, it's a little bit more showable, right? See how this closed above, but you still gotta respect it.
Yes.
Now if I go back to the daily time frame, let me show you more example here. Where was it? It closed below, but you gotta still respect it. Same thing happens to everything, right? It's fractal, right? If something happens to the higher time frame, will happen to lower time frame. So, but our goal is to take the lower time frame and target the higher time frame, right? That's like our overall longer term goal, because that's the only way you're gonna make money, right? That's the only way I got funded with $400,000, right? Without that, I would have been funded with $400,000, because I would take too many shitty trades in a lower time frame. 4-hour time frame, there's a candle every 4 hours. It's difficult for you to pick which one should I trade, which one should I not, right? It's very difficult for you, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you want to focus on the higher time frame. Once you go down to lower time frame, it's going to be relatively easy for you to pick, okay, this is the candle I'm looking for. That's all, right? And eventually, the next couple of days, you don't have to be in the market every single day, right? You can be in the market 2 days out of the week, and the rest days you're off, right? You just look in the market for 10 minutes. If you don't see the market in your way, get out the chart and go on from the day, because you usually come in the market for like 4 to 5 hours every day, right? You say the charts for no reason, right? So this right here will dismantle that. Cause see how your eyes sometimes get black under your eyes. You get some eyeball fucking black shit under your eyes because of the screen, right? So you want to avoid that. The way you can avoid that is simply by what I'm gonna teach you right here. So going where we left off again, I'm getting out of order here, but going where we left off again, once we have our quarterly.
Do you have some kind of video on your YouTube channel teaching about it?
Teaching about what?
Teaching about the quarterly thing.
Yeah. I already made a video. I already made a no one session, the same topic with somebody else. Siri, you could go watch it out. You could watch that also, but he had a little bit different than you, but relatively the same question, right? Because you're not giving you're giving a very broad question, so it's very difficult for me to answer your question to the point, to the tick, right? So that's why it's kind of difficult for me to answer your question, because you didn't come out with a pinpoint question you gotta ask, but it's all cool, right? So I already made a video on this, but once you have the higher time frame here, the monthly time frame already got it done here, right? You already know what to do with the monthly time frame, right?
Yeah.
So you got your monthly bias. So now in the weekly time frame, all we're looking for is the weekly time base. So if week 1 accumulated, week 2 is gonna manipulate, week 3 is gonna expand, week 4 is gonna reverse. If week 3 accumulates, week 4 is gonna manipulate. When a new month of the week is gonna expand, right? So week 3 accumulation, week 4 manipulation, no week of the month expansion. Eventually, from there on forward, is constant expansion until the target is met. And these you see these pullbacks or just like retracements, right? You just go short when it goes up here, short it down. When it goes up here, short it down, right? And just constantly make money along the way. So that's all we're looking for in the weekly time frame. We're looking for time-based CRT, right? There's difference between the price-based and time-based, right? A price-based right over here. If I go to here, use these a little bit better, right? This right over here is a price-based CRT, right?
Yes.
There is no time in it. So if you take a long in this specific day, in this day, you take a loss, right? Even if you take a long on Thursday, you take a loss. Why? Because the market came back down, stop you, all right? The reason why you took a loss because the time wasn't there yet for you to take a trade. So this CRT is still important, but it's only for your targets. So we're gonna use the time based to go to the target, right? The target, the execution is much more important than the target, because without the execution, you can't make money. And if you have execution wrong, like this day, you long it up. What's gonna happen is market gonna stop you out because money needs to go retrace back to the downside. Basically, OTE right over here, OTE, right? Boom, OTE.
So your video is available on YouTube, right?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to watch it later.
All right, perfect. So I mean that right there, you can watch also. It's quite fucking long because that guy, had a long ass question also. But without that, we have our price based target and now we have our time, right? So our price based CRT is this specific candle because the Thursday candle, the Monday candle never press out the Friday candle. So this candle is primarily now a price based rather than a time based. So this candle over here, the Tuesday candle, is now our time based CRT, right? So now if Tuesday accumulates, Wednesday manipulates, Thursday expands, right? Now if Thursday accumulates, Friday manipulates, Monday expands. That's all we're looking for. It's that simple, right? You get it now?
I think so.
Okay, recap it.
You said that mostly the last week of the month, the last 2 days of the week, and the last part of the year have higher chances for reversals or continuations, right?
Primarily reversals / retracements.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the CRT? Like, how do you trade your CRT right now? Because that's an important point, right? Because you primarily want to trade CRT the correct way. As you can see, there's multiple candles here, right? So if you long out this candle, you made money, but if you long out this candle, you lost money. You long out this candle, you lost money. You long out this candle, you lost money, right? Because CRT every single candle. So how you like? My question to you is, how do you trade CRT? It's very difficult for me to answer any question you have.
Right now, I trade it like I usually try to look at the previous candle. If the candle,
I mean, you're looking for the confirmation, right? Confirmation first, then you trade it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this specific week, were you bullish or bearish on gold?
Well, I was bullish until yesterday.
So first week, we call it Monday accumulation, Tuesday manipulation, and Wednesday expansion to the downside, right?
Right.
Okay, so you're bullish until yesterday. So why are you bearish now for?
Firstly, because I was looking at silver and I saw an SMT.
All right.
There. And because of the videos I saw on YouTube saying that Wednesday usually
is a classical candle.
What?
Wednesday is a classical candle. Yeah. You can see how Wednesday is a clear push to the downside without any like shitty price action like this.
Yeah, I saw something about Wednesday being a reversal day or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Wednesday didn't make the high of the day though, high of the week though.
Yeah.
So how have you gone out of that?
What?
So how you would have gone on, like how you, because it's not always going to be Wednesday reversal. So how you would have gone out of this Wednesday not making the high of the week?
Good question, actually. I was saying, I mostly thought that it wasn't bullish anymore because the S&T with silver.
Yeah, S&T. Yeah, but that's like, I mean, if you're using S&T for your buys, it's gonna fuck you up multiple times. See how that S&T I just showed you failed, like with GPUZ and DXY. That is gonna happen to you most of the time, right? That's gonna happen to you sometimes, and sometimes like that S&T is gonna tell you false direction. So you, bro, I mean, you're not a fucking boy, but what if you are, sister? Just focus on weekly profile and daily profile and the time, because without that, man, your shit gonna fuck. You're gonna get fucked up in the longer term. Just trust me. I've lost over 16,000 before I made any money on trading CRT because I would pattern trade left and right. I would have S&T, long it up, and I'll get stopped out, long it up again, get stopped out again. Eventually, I'll go my way because when you trade S&T, right? I made a video on it yesterday. You also gotta focus on the time, right? Because the reason S&T worked out that you marked out was the reason it worked out was because it's week 4 of the month, right? So week 4 of the month is gonna be reversal. So the S&T has a higher chance of holding. Like next, just watch it in the next couple of days. You'll see the S&T will fail, right? If the market will go up higher, then eventually after the next 2 months, then it's gonna reverse to the downside, right? But till then, the S&T is not gonna hold, right? It's gonna focus. It's gonna work in the short term, but it's gonna fail inevitably, right? So since you told me like you primarily get your buys, where do you get your buys from? Like that's the most important question. The monthly time frame.
Mostly looking at the higher time frames, as I was saying, but since gold is in all-time highs, it's a little bit
difficult,
awkward to trade SRT, to be honest.
Yeah. So
CRT.
Yeah, it's very simple. Like primarily to trade, like if you see how like this hole here, it was just expanding, right? The way you can just trade the retracements, right? So every time market retraces, just long it up, and the retracement you're looking for the daily time frame above. So if you look for like a 4-hour retracement, right? This 4-hour retracement right over here, it's gonna mess you up because it's not a time to reverse yet. So you want to wait for a daily level and above, because the daily time frame and above time frames are the most important time frame. Any time frame that's like a 15-minute, 4-hour, 1-hour time, like if a 4-hour or 1-hour time frame expands, it usually comes from a daily level and above, right? Usually everything starts from a daily time frame, right? So if you're looking for a daily push to the upside, if you're looking for a push to the upside, you're looking for a daily CRT. You see classical CRT all the time here, right? Retracement, eventually expansion, right? You can see, did you long up the CRT before? Did you long that CRT up? If you trade gold?
I actually no. I had bought a little bit lower.
Lower? So you bought somewhere around this candle?
I got out at that price, I think.
Yeah. Did you get stopped out or did you win?
No, hit take profit.
Okay, perfect. You can see how sometimes you see how this candle is supposed to be like a CRT, it's supposed to go up high from here on forward, right? But it didn't.
Yeah.
So when that happens, your main focus should be like daily ranges, right? You can see, it's super low, super high, stable low. So this candle right over here, the CRT is in a premium. Is that premium? Yeah, that's premium. So it's going to fail, right? Because you want to buy low, sell high, right? So since this candle's in premium, is going to fail. So you want to come to the discount. You can see after discount, after this candle tapped the discount, then the CRT worked out perfectly fine, right? But this one failed. So you're gonna encounter many problems. This, bro, like, trust me, this is gonna cost you a lot of money. But if you just focus on daily ranges, weekly profile, and time-based CRT, these problems are gonna be fixed so quick, right? Like this right over here on EURUSD, right over here, perfect example. Go to DXY, right? Do you see DXY right over here, right? During this time, did you see how the CRT failed right over here?
It failed like
basically it got broken above. It didn't really go down lower. It didn't continue. But there's a daily fair value gap also.
I actually isn't that a CRT telling us to move up? Like
but like you gotta keep in mind, people usually think, okay, there's gonna be a clear contribution to the downside, because this time I was definitely bullish, right? I already sent the picture in Telegram, but people usually think this is a clear continuation because the daily fair value got to the downside, so people gonna short it down, right? But they didn't know the time was in there, right? You see, there was a S&T with EURUSD on these two lows, right? You can see there's two lows right over here, right? There was S&T.
Do you think that that single low was like a turtle soup?
Yeah. This is a beautiful turtle soup. Yeah, I took this long also, but there was S&T with DXY with EURUSD with this candle. You can see there's S&T right over here. Before you got disrespected, there was S&T. Now,
yeah,
you can see how the Tuesday candle, right? Tuesday candle pressed it out, while the while DXY Tuesday candle did not press it out. It was S&T, but he failed. Why did he fail? Simple, because the time wasn't there. Because the last week, usually the reason this one failed because the week 4, right, is reversal, right? So if this S&T happened on week 4, like this specific week, this S&T would work out. But since it didn't happen this specific week, this S&T did not hold, and they got targeted because CRT targets become inevitable. So they usually always get tapped. Right? They always get hit. You always eventually market will always tap it. Right? You will always go target the CRT low, CRT high, or the 50% mark. Do you target the 50% mark on the CRT?
If I target what?
You target the 50% mark of the CRT.
Yeah, usually I do.
Yeah, all right. So why do you do that?
To be honest, because Romeo told us to.
Yeah, see, like that's why you gotta see. Like if I were to profit out of the 50% mark during the specific, let me just show it EURUSD. If I were to target, like if I were to profit out of the 50% mark of this specific CRT, and the market, and I know the CRT targets become inevitable. If you're right, they become inevitable. So this target will inevitably get hit no matter what, right? So if I profit here and I enter a trade down here and I get out right up here, am I making enough money? No. So you want to hold all the way until you target, because when you hold a trade, it's like what, a $20 commission. That's not that much, right? You could hold because you're making much more. The commission, the spread doesn't matter because you're gonna make so much more money, right? Who do you listen to on X?
On X?
Yeah, so like on Twitter, who do you like primarily like is your go-to guy or girl or whatever?
I don't use it that much, but mostly I follow Romeo and some guy called AR.
AR? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's that bullshit ass fucking scammer. Okay, so if you go research on Romeo and his old tweets, I've already covered all that shit on my YouTube. Just go watch all my YouTube channel videos. You'll cover all the fucking the lessons from it. But the main thing you want to when you're trading CRT, you want to target the CRT high or CRT low. You never want to target the 50% mark. If I go to gold right now, let's say I know gold will go down lower and possibly close down here. But if you get out at the 50% mark, yes, you may still make money, but like how much, Brazilian money is not that much, right? It's not as good as a dollar, right? So you want to eventually make more, right? You want to constantly make more. You want, like, in the Wall Street, they say greed is good. In trading, greed is good also. You want to constantly be able to make more money. You don't want to get out down here. You want to get out where you can make the most amount of money, right? That's why Romeo says lower time frame risks and higher time frame reward. Now, if you go down to a gold lower time frame, today was a perfect example, right? The 1 a.m. candle manipulation, right?
Actually, to be honest, right now I usually drop some of my profits at 50% because I'm not quite sure about my
see, you're not confident in your bias. You got to be confident. You got to be like, shit, this shit is gonna get hit regardless, right? You just gotta have to hold it, because that's when you're gonna face emotions, right? You're gonna face like, oh, the market will really not go down there. But the way you fix that is just like be confident in your buy. That's why I told you the higher time frame first, because I know inevitably the higher time frame is going to fucking explode, right? So since the high is gonna explode, that this lower time frame is not gonna do shit to you, right? The lower time frame, 15-minute time frame, the price every single fucking 15 minutes is not gonna do really much to you, right? So you can just hold it to the higher time frame and target the weekly CRT, right? You always want to target the weekly CRT. Don't target the daily. You can target the daily time frame, but your primarily goal should be the weekly CRT and on forward, right? You target the daily time frame CRTs, you're gonna make money, but not as much as money, right? I've usually my profits are like what? Like I make 11 hour, anywhere between 6 to 24 hour per trade, right? That is still not enough for me, right? I still know, okay, I can make more, I can make more, I can make more, right? So that's why you want to focus on lower time frame risks and higher time frame reward. Because since you live in Brazil, your currency is kind of shit, so you want to focus on, profiting more. Don't get out the 50% mark. Hold it at the CRT low. And the way you know that target will get met is this is what I just told you, right? The way you knew that Tuesday was gonna make the high of the week was very simple. Monday accumulation, Tuesday manipulation, Wednesday expansion, Wednesday's a classical candle to the downside. That's all, right? It's easy as that. Now all you have to do is use time, right? Use quarter 3, quarter 4, quarter 1, quarter 2, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 in your advantage, right? And don't make it as a fixed rule, right? Make it in a way where the market is not always going to be week 1 accumulation, week 2 manipulation, week 3 expansion. It could be week 3 accumulation, week 4 manipulation, week 1 expansion of the new monthly candle. Same for the daily candle, right? It's not always going to be Monday accumulation, Tuesday manipulation, Wednesday expansion. Sometimes it could be Friday accumulation, Monday manipulation, right? And eventually Tuesday expansion, Wednesday expansion to the target, right? You can see, I can show you multiple examples of that right over here. Right? You can see Friday accumulation, right? Monday manipulation, eventually Tuesday expansion, Wednesday expansion. Look, you see the reversal. You see the reversal right over here?
Yes.
Happened on Thursday and Friday. Reversal on here happened on Thursday and Friday. Friday, because since he happened on Thursday, you don't give a fuck about Friday. Same thing over here. The reversal happened on Tuesday. Classical expansion. Monday accumulation, Tuesday manipulation, Wednesday expansion to the downside. And I'm pretty sure, that's the new month of the quarter. This should be a reason to why. Yep, right over here, right? Week 4, the week 4 out of the last month was a range. The new week out of the month is going to be a manipulation. Week 2 expansion, week 3 expansion, eventually retracement to cap off the monthly range. You can see how the week 4 reversed to the upside. Eventually, market straight away went right back to the downside and targeting the weekly 50 low, right? That's all we're looking for. It's that simple. You get it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it? You kinda?
What did you say?
Did you kinda get it or did you get it fully?
I think I got it. I'm not quite sure because my English level isn't that good.
Your English level, neither is mine, because I'm not from America. Also, I'm from Afghanistan. But I fuck up a lot. That's why you see me mistake the fucking monthly with the quarterly. You know what I'm saying? So mine is kind of fucked up also. But I've been here for long enough to know how to talk a little bit. But is that all? Any more questions?
So you have videos on?
Yeah, I do have multiple videos, but don't watch the older videos because they're all kind of old. I do have a bootcamp I could show you right over here. Let me make a bootcamp, because the bootcamp will talk about the weekly profile, daily profile, all the type of the profiles that you need to focus on, and you'll talk about daily ranges, right?
Daily ranges?
Yeah, like how gold recently.
Yeah.
Like this, you see how this candle failed to reverse to the upside? Well, this one did. Like basically daily ranges, right? So premium and discount. So this what is this just called? Fucking bootcamp will teach you all of the concepts. Eventually, the concepts is all I use. It's these concepts looking at market. Since you use it, once you understand it, then it will be very easy for you to trade. I can't fucking answer your questions correctly because you didn't give me like a dense question to ask. You just primarily said I'm new. It's because there's so many shit to learn from you, right? There's so many things to learn, right?
Yeah.
So
I thought CRT was a little bit easier.
Oh no, it's easy if you focus on time, because every candle is a CRT here, right? Since you're new, the market's gonna reward you a lot. Since you're new, the market's gonna give you money left and right. But it gets to a time where you fuck you up, right? When you get fucked up, it's gonna be hard to recover, right? It's gonna be very, very difficult to recover. When you recover, and eventually you can be like, oh yeah, I made it, but all the hard problem can be taken away if you just focus on, the bootcamp and my previous videos that I already published on YouTube. Just focus on the videos, listen to them very carefully because those is how I literally trade. I mean, other than that, I listen. I only trade like fucking. This week I didn't even take a trade, right? But I look at the market for like 10 minutes and I get out of the market, right? I don't stay in the chart. I don't look at the market like for fucking 5 hours every single day, right? Did you do that, right? Sometimes, right?
My mom actually always gets mad at me because I'm always looking at the screen.
Yep. See, you could avoid that by simply focusing on what I just taught you. And one more thing I gotta say before we end off this call: focus on daily levels and above. So focus on daily CRTs and above. And once you have the daily CRT and above, what you're gonna do is gonna go down to the lower time frame, to the 4 hour or 1 hour. You're looking for a lower time frame CRT also that goes with the higher time frame CRT. So if I have a bearish 4 hour, if I have a bearish daily CRT downside, I'm looking to go down to lower time frame. And I'm looking for a 4 hour CRT to support and go with the daily CRT, like this specific candle right over here, right? I'm looking for it to be supported with. I'm looking for the 4 hour to support the daily thesis, right? Once I get that, I can go down to a 15-minute time frame and execute. But when I profit, right? You can see like model one right over here, right? It worked out perfectly, right? So now instead of me, as I already said before, instead of me profiting down here, I could profit on a daily, right? I could profit down all the way down here, which you can see is gonna get met very soon. You see how the market's kind of shitty right over here? This is what happens. Like, before the target's met, it's gonna make some sort of fake top or fake bottom. Then you to the subset, then eventually reverses from there on forward, right? But it's that simple. Focus on daily levels and above. Focus on time, which I already made that video all of it. But that's how you avoid from your mom getting mad at you from looking at the screen too much, right?
Right.
All right.
So to learn about time, do you recommend to watch your YouTube videos or more like the bootcamp?
To be honest, was both, right? Because I did like the older videos, I was a little more immature. The new videos are more like, I know what I'm talking about more, right? Because, as we grow, as time goes, we constantly, grow, right? So, but try to after you watch the bootcamp, only watch the specific bootcamp videos. Don't watch like the, don't watch the one that's useless. Like the fucking, let me show you right now, actually. Let me show you which one's the importance. Where is it at? What's the bootcamp? I don't even know. Is it at? Right over here, ATU Mastermind Bootcamp. Right over here. I'll also show you trade examples, me using live market. So you can also do that. Let me share my screen on there real quick. Change stream. Okay. You can see this is the model one, the subtypes. You can see how there's multiple model ones. There's CIZ, right? Like model one.
Yes.
Like there's multiple types of model one. You can see this right over here is a rejection block. Total soup. They didn't tap it, but sometimes you would soup it, sometimes you will not. The way you would know it, I think the other pair souped it out. Well, this one didn't because DXY constantly went up before reversing. So there's some sort of SNT with this high, but you can see there's subtitle at model one. In this case, this model one is a rejection block, right? Market reversed from the rejection block. So instead of you don't see my screen here. Fuck. One second. Let me show you right here. So you see right over here, right? The model one, like the fucking CISD. So instead of you entering a trade from down here, right? You like, oh, that's a long. Wait, that's a short. Yeah. So instead of you entering a short from here, you can enter a short from here and have more RR, right? So instead of you making like what? Let's say 1.7 RR, you make for the same target, you make 3.8. So there's subtypes of there's subtypes of model one. So this one is the rejection block model one, which usually the way you know the way you know that the wick will get tapped is when the wick is kind of thick, right? When the wick is thick, usually the wick will get retraced to because the wick is like an imbalance, like a fair value gap. So the wick will get retraced to, then eventually reverse, right? So there's subtypes of model one. There's subtypes of fucking like everything, right? So there's subtypes of total soup, right? The total soup is not always going to be the same total soup. It's going to be different, right? So for the model one, it's also going to be different also. In this case, this was a rejection block model 1, right? You can see market reverse from the rejection block instead of the model 1 itself. So if you entered here, you make more money, but if you enter here, you still make money, but you make less. You don't make as much as you were if you weren't here, right? So let's say we enter here. I didn't take the trade because I don't trade that time, but let's say I put my stop loss like somewhere around there, 5 pip stop loss. Right, let's say I entered there and I target the daily CRT low because we were trading the lower time frame and we're targeting the higher time frame. We're making what, a 18 RR? And keep in mind, this is very realistic. I already showed some trade examples on fucking YouTube, already made a recording on it. These high RRs are very, easy. And when you trade like for like a big firm, like these 18 RR is like fucking average. It's so average to these guys, right? If you're in USA, you look for like a fucking firm, these RRs are so average, right? They usually make so much more than fucking 12 RR, 30 RR. They make much more than that because they have much more capital, right? They're much more smarter, right? But you can see in this case, if you're taking the model 1 itself, you put your stop loss all down here just to cover spread, you would make 12 RR, right? 12% gain. But if you enter here, you're making a 18% gain, right? So you're making like your RR varies by a lot, right? So going back to the fucking show I was showing you. Where do I show you my screen here? Okay. Like going back to what I showed you, you see the screen now?
Yes.
So going back to what I showed you right over here, there's subtypes of model 1. You can watch it. There's subtypes of multiple model 1s. There's like there's 3. A registration block, a threshold, and there's a continuation. So basically market will continue, tap the start of the order block and not tap the threshold or registration block and just reverse. That's like a continuation, right? That's like a close above, like a perfect close above. This is like a one-on-one session, right? I had with some people. This is a 15 RR, right? Now also I had multiple others. These are trade examples, right? But the important part is down here. We go back later in the video, right? You see there's multiple chapters. This chapter right over here is specifically by market profit. What I just showed you, right? Accumulation, manipulation, expansion. There's retracement, there's reversals, there's that's all there is. There's nothing else, right? But focus on the chapters that make sense to you the most, that you actually need, right? You could go listen to these chapters over and over, do whatever you like. But once you learn the chapters, there's going to be trade examples, right, that I actually took. Then those trade examples are going to show you, okay, they're using the specific concepts that I teach you for free. I use it in the market, and that's how you can make money out of it, right? So that's how you could do also. And I'm sorry for the yapping. I did so much here today, but it is what it is, right?
Right.
All right. So is there anything else? Any more questions?
No, I think it's just that's it.
That's it. All right. Yeah, we have multiple other videos right over here. Fucking the Total Soup fucking secrets. What was it called? What is it?
I was just gonna ask you. You said that your older videos, you were a little immature.
Yeah.
What about recording like new videos?
Oh yeah, the older videos are still good, but it's not immature. It's about less knowledge, right? As I said before, as time goes on, we learn new things, right? We learn better. We learn how to operate in a higher efficiency, right? So the older video is still important, but the newer video will be like a little bit more easier to understand, right? Rather than the older video being a little bit difficult, right? This case right over here is like how to enter Total Soup, right? Right over here is the most important video out of the whole fucking Total Soup secrets. Is this right over here? It basically says about the Total Soup entry models, right? It's like three entry. There's like three entry Total Soup models: the fucking fair value gap below an old low, order block below an old low, and they're paired. Sometimes there's gonna be a equal high, equal low, fake equal high, fake equal low, Total Soup, and eventually reversals, right? Which is all in the video, right? All of them have it. And this right over here is this right here is another important one you could actually watch, which will speak about, how I said only target the weekly CRTs, right? Weekly CRT high, weekly CRT low. So on this specific video, will tell you how to target beyond it. And the way you target beyond it, like a quick answer, is going to be if the monthly candle is an expansion candle. In this specific month, let me show you my chart right over here. in this specific month on AUSD was a expansion candle here, right? So if I go share my screen here, you can see in this specific month in this specific month, right? Because it says accumulation, right? Accumulation, manipulation, expansion. So this specific month is expansion candle. So we're looking for expansion to the upside, right? Since we're looking for expansion to the upside, if we have a weekly CRT, in this case, there was a weekly CRT down here. There was no weekly CRT here, I'm sure. But if you not, since there's no weekly CRT, scale down to the lower time frame. Look for another weekly CRT here, right? Since in the daily time frame, there was a daily CRT here to the upside. Now, instead of you targeting this high, right? Because there's a weekly CRT here. If you pay attention to the chart, fucking forgot myself. Right here, there's a weekly CRT to the upside. So instead of me targeting here, now I can hold my position till this high. So now instead of me making money, instead of me getting out basically around here, I can get out around here and make a little more. And that little more is going to cover my expenses that I'm living, right? And where I live, is this shit is really needed, right? Like the prop firm, my goal overall is to make money from prop firm and transfer it to my personal account, right? Eventually go from there, right? That should be a goal also. But even for a prop firm, you make money. Let's just say, are you funded right now, or like are you like a funded trader or no?
Actually, I have the same idea as you, but right now I'm trading on my personal account, and when
high capital? Is it like high allocation?
No, like
yeah, it's not, right?
Only 1,000.
Yeah, so what you want to focus on, since you don't have a very high allocation, is go buy like a profit account like 50K or 25K, pass it by using this simply because if you focus on this, right? Listen, if you focus on this, one trade is gonna make you pass phase one, another trade is gonna make you pass phase two. Even if you lose trade in between, one trade will do it, right? It's like a one shot, one kill, right? Because you're making so much money, so much more money.
I didn't buy a funded account yet because I want to get a little more constant before I buy one,
Yeah. When you do, like you buy it, like you right now you have like what 1,000, spend that on a 5K account or a 10K account, and pass the 10K account, get like a what? If you make a 12% gain or 10K account, that's like what 1,200. Guess what? Use that payout and buy a 100K account, right? Because like a 100K account gonna cost you like what $500, not that much. Like that right there is like a fucking commission to these traders. Like to me personally, like 2 trades just based on commission covers that, right? So do that, and that's how you actually make money from profits, right? You go start from 10K or 5K. I suggest 10K. Get it funded. Get like a payout, because usually you trade, as I said before, your trade will be very high RR. So since your trade gonna be very high RR, there's gonna be no worries, right? You're gonna make enough money to buy a 100K account. Buy the 100K account, do the same thing, right? Rinse and repeat. Now, once you get a 100K account, funded account, pass it, get another payout, and eventually now, instead of you buying another 10K account, buy a 100K account constantly, right? And eventually get max allocations, and then go from there, right?
Right. I just want to get my strategy a little bit more constant before I go on.
Yeah, okay.
That's my idea.
All right, so what's the problem with your strategy right now? What's the main problem? Like, is it like the entry model? Is it the the whole system itself?
Actually, the entry models.
Yeah.
Actually, the models I got them from watching Romeo's videos, so I think I got how that works, but I still have to learn how to pick my CRTs.
Yeah, you see, that's why I told you the higher top from first. That's why we went to the 3-month first before we go down to the 15-minute. 4 hours simple, right? So now since we have the higher top correct here, right? We're obviously fucking bullish. Monthly time frame, we obviously are bullish, right? On USD, I'm bullish right now, right? On the weekly time frame, we're obviously fucking bullish. On a daily time frame, it's gonna be very simple, right? Daily time frame, we're looking for a dump on the old low. Then eventually looking for a, once we get a dump on the old low, or we're looking for, now we're going to the 4-hour time frame or 1 hour, right? So have you ever had a 1 hour CRT trade before? Like you use a 1 hour CRT instead of 4 hour CRT?
No, just the 4 hours.
You see, sometimes it's gonna be hourly at the 4 hour, right? In the new continuation, market is not gonna retrace too much to a 4 hour CRT. So it's gonna go retrace to the hourly CRT in reverse. Like this trade I had right here for 24 hour, right? I made 24 hour trade. I already made a video on this, but right, if I could show you a quick example here, right? In this trade I didn't take a 4 hour because there was no 4 hour CRT here, right? So the trade I took was from a 4 hour. It was from an hourly CRT. In that time, if you go back, there was no 4 hour CRT in play here, right? There was no 4 hour CRT. It was primarily the hourly. So the way you can use the hourly time frame instead of the 4 hours sometimes is through same thing again. Daily ranges, right? Over here, boom, we are in discount. So since we're in discount and the 402 didn't get tapped, we could anticipate this hourly CRT to hold and go up higher. So entry model is very simple, right? My entry model is like a fair value gap, right? If you go down to the time frame. Now the problem with the model one, you trade model one primarily, right? Like the fucking CISD, right?
Yes.
So you trade that primarily. For you to take a trade, it's gonna be very difficult. You couldn't have cashed this trade, right? Because you never got retapped, right? So that's why you gotta focus on entry models a little bit more. Like put a little more effort on the entry models because they are very important, right? Because some entry can give you like this. The example I showed you, right? Before we go there, before I give the example, my entry model is simple right here, right? Like a fair value below this old low. It's fair value gap. So along the fair value gap, put my stop loss like right down here and long it up, and I made 24 hour, right? And I targeted the weekly CRT high, which is all the way the side, right? And that took less than a day. Now the entry models, the reason I say is very important because some entry models give you less RR and some give you very high, right? And so you overall in the longer term basis, see how Romeo has like very tight stop losses?
Yeah.
And like you have such a fucking wide stop loss, there's a huge difference, right? The RR is so much different, right? In this case, like the same example I showed you, right? In this case, if you were to short down from here, you're making a, like, let's say you go target the daily CRT low, you're making a what? You're making a fucking 12 RR. But if you had your entry here, you're making at least a 18 RR. So you're making much more. So the entry models does matter. Your end goal when you're trading, once you get the higher time is so fucking easy, right? All you're doing is looking for you're spending 5 minutes on a chart looking for the higher time frame. After that, all that matters is lower time because lower time frame, there's much more candles, or there's so much candles to print. So lower time frame is much more important than the higher time frame. That's a candle price much more, so you need to focus a little bit more, right? So lower time frame, your main goal should be to have more RR in a longer term basis, and that's all, right?
Yeah, I'll after we. The call, I'm probably going to watch all of your videos on the bootcamp playlist.
All right, perfect. So yeah, that's the entry model right over here. It's very simple, nothing too difficult. Any more other concepts do you have?
I think it's just that.
That's just that. All right, perfect. I'll upload the video so you can watch it again if you want to, but I don't really give a shit. But yeah, that's all. And I'll see you later, Sandra. Anything else you gotta say?
No, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, thank you for watching. That was a fucking rough one. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. It was a rough one. It's my fucking Wi-Fi connection, and she had a broad, question. So it's kind of difficult for me to answer any questions you have if it's very fucking broad, right? I need to get like a very dense in question, right? But I think our main problem was the bias, right? Because she was just confused which series to pick, and in this video we overall taught her how to do it just using time. My main way I get my bias is through time, right? As you guys obviously know this, right? I get my bias through time-based concept only. Price-based are only for targets, right? If she watches the video and she gets till this end, cool. If she does it, it's all fine. But yeah, there's a lot of charting, there's a lot of fucking yapping. It pissed me off because my Wi-Fi is literally raining right now. But it is what it is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. Join the Telegram, the link in the description down below, and I'll see you guys later. If you guys want to have a one-on-one session with me next time, please fucking make sure you guys give me the right questions because it's difficult. There's so much to learn, right? There's so much things to learn. It's difficult for me to answer any question you guys have, right? And I'm very expert at this. I should be already know like every answer to any question. But since it's so fucking broad, yeah, I don't know my bias, right? I don't know. I don't know how to pick a which CRT. Which that answer already answered it because just got the higher time frame and just scale down. But it's fucking difficult, right, chat? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. It's kind of difficult, man. I talk too fucking fast, but it is what it is. See you guys later. Bye bye. I love you, man. Peace out.